We begin with breaking news. Anthropic blacklisted. President Trump moments ago pulling the plug on the government's use of Anthropic AI technology as we are now crossing tonight's 5 p.m. deadline for a deal. At issue, the Department of Defense demand that Anthropic allow full use of its AI technology without guardrails, something Anthropic has refused to do, even at the risk of losing its military contract valued at some $200 million. President Trump posting on Truth Social just moments ago, directing federal agencies to immediately cease all use of Anthropic's technology, writing, quote, "There will be a 6-month phase-out period for agencies like the Department of War who are using Anthropic's products at various levels. Anthropic better get their act together," he writes, "and be helpful during this phase-out period, or I will use the full power of the presidency to make them comply," unquote. We've got our reporters covering this and a lot more for you tonight. Bloomberg's Michael Shepard, Becca Wasser are in Washington, Julie Fine in Texas, where the president currently is, and Nora Melinda covering markets for us here in New York. We begin with Mike Shepard. We saw it coming, Mike, and here we are. It's 5:01 p.m. Is this over?
Nothing is really over until Donald Trump says it is. And on one level, he really closed the door. He said that Anthropic, it's time for you to go. You have 6 months to leave town. You're off the federal government payroll. You are out of the federal government's networks. And yet we have seen Trump reverse course on a number of other things in the past. And if Anthropic is in some way willing to capitulate to meet the Pentagon's demands or satisfy whatever additional concerns that Trump may be raising on his own, this is the first time we have heard him weigh in on this dispute, Joe. We could see perhaps yet another reversal. But right now, it's a pretty final word from the president, at least at this moment.
What does this mean for the other AI companies? Shep, they've been talking to Google about Gemini. I believe they've already cleared Grok from xAI for classified use. What comes next?
Well, Joe, that really is a great question, because all of these AI companies are not only looking for all that commercial and civilian business out there across a number of industries, they are also looking at the main industry here in Washington, and that is the U.S. government, which has always been a lucrative source of business and income and contracts for a number of other industries. So this is a message to them as well, that they need to get aboard. For Elon Musk and xAI, it may be a little bit easier road to hoe in that case. But if you are OpenAI, it could be a little bit tougher. We heard Sam Altman in a memo yesterday to his employees that Bloomberg has seen. He said that, look, we are interested in exploring classified work with the Pentagon, but we would like to for the government to abide by some of the same restrictions that Anthropic has been fighting for. So we will want to see how those kinds of negotiations pan out. And OpenAI, for now, unlike xAI and Anthropic, has not been cleared for classified work on Pentagon.
I see. The president is using some pretty colorful language, as typically seen in a post like this. Mike, the left-wing nut jobs at Anthropic, he says, have made a disastrous mistake trying to strong-arm the Department of War. I don't know if that's an accurate depiction of the company's posture here, but if they, in fact, are labeled a supply chain risk and they lose this contract worth $200 million, does Anthropic still have a business?
Well, they would still have a business on the commercial side. When you compare the size of that contract with their overall commercial revenue run rate, it's vast. We're talking about $14 billion in commercial revenue for the company. So it's really just a fraction of that. And yet there is the reputational question and what it might, with a spillover or the blast radius might be with other partners that also have federal work. So far, the Pentagon has not declared the company a supply chain risk. So far, it really does spell out as just no more federal contracts for you. You're out of the system. But we're not getting that broader warning that other companies are forbidden from doing business with Anthropic if they also have federal work.